Okay, I'm going to start off with my piece that's being stenciled on the sidewalk sometime in the next couple days. Comes from one of my chapbooks called So Careless of Themselves. Never done this with a handheld mic before. This is fun. The title is Elegy. Dig the small grave and place the smaller body so, just so. The chill May rain and the warm human tears falling on her head will serve for the ritual washing of this pup, barely 2 days old. Some future digger after truth, alien or human, kneeling with trowel and brush at this grave, will note in clear, careful script the wonder that a people would be so deliberate with the smallest of their God's creatures and so careless of themselves. Thank you. Mother and child. When you were one, we spent the day at Disneyland. Your mother, my uncle, and I took turns watching you in your stroller from ride to ride. That night in your crib, you gazed wide-eyed for an hour, digesting, I guess, what you'd seen. And then you smiled sweetly in your sleep. You won't remember, but we speak of it still. It's early in the 5th decade since that day. Your son is back from his war just as I was from mine. His gaze across the dinner table is hooded, distant. I hope when he's a father he'll dream of wondrous times, and fear when he's a grandfather he'll scratch at hidden scars and remember his bodies at the end of the day. Ripples. In a crowded Sunday afternoon rotunda, fingers ripple across keys, and the stream pauses, breathes deep, moves off changed and change-filled. Pen and paper meet, declaring your objection and the unmet friend of a friend, tracing the worlds your hand describes, refuses his own recall to battle. Set your hands in forms of water, a glassy pasture pond, sun-washed snow, steam rising sibilant from city sidewalk grates, and see the impact of your movements as they spread. About 45 years ago, I worked in downtown Chicago, and one afternoon I walked over to the merchandise mart just to have something to do at lunch on an extremely boring day. And I met the gentleman who's referred to in this poem. 7 heads and 10 horns. Aging, still erect and proud. A hard-hatted man I followed from Jackson to somewhere near the mart. He carried a 2-sided sign as he spoke and talked of walking to Washington in the spring. On the one side, America and the world be more in danger if I stop marching. It'd be lost sooner than we think. And on the other, this man must keep the beast from rise up, out of the sea with 7 heads and 10 horns. He talked of saving America and itself, from itself and from the world. No one I've talked to since then has ever even heard of him. Lilith. There is lightning in the high clouds to the north, but distance cancels the thunder. The flashes reach me, but the cycle is incomplete. The sky turns darker, eclipses the healing moon and stars. I am the first emigre, the first immigrant woman. I leave as a stranger, I arrive the same. With no husband, no sons, the cycle is incomplete. The clouds roll closer, the air cools and turns electric. My daughters and I speak our only language and are damned for it. We eat the only food we know, and we are cursed. We would belong, but the cycle is incomplete. The distance closes. Thunder makes the children turn in their sleep. My labor is required but undervalued. My wisdom is needed but not sought. Our bodies are desired, then discarded, and the cycle is incomplete. Not yet. Silence drops, is suddenly carried away by 1,000 fingers drumming. The rain falls, warm and soft, carrying hope and salvation, but the ground here is hard. The promise is rejected and flows in the gutters, and the cycle remains incomplete. Finding truth. When you're working in the field and you want to know if what your brush just uncovered after days or months or years of patience is really fossilized bone, touch it to your tongue. If it sticks as its pores absorb your moisture, you can be sure it's exactly what you seek. I don't recall when I learned it, this piece of trivial trivia, but it applies just as well to a lover's name. Tish and Gomez Reminisce. Do you recall the evening we broke through? We'd worked together for weeks and weeks, fighting the awkwardness of what we were doing. Our feet behaved like 3-year-olds intent on setting their own rules. You seemed comfortable first. A few days before, I outran my fear of the steps and just let my body take charge. Even past those barricades, we neither one danced that well alone or with another partner, but together. Oh, cara mia, together. Summer solstice. Gauzy strips of high cloud let the lover's moon tease as Venus lies distant in the night of a new season. Mars receded weeks ago, having altered the cosmology of this insignificant world. Coyotes howl back at fire engines answering a call out on the state 4-lane at 1 in the morning. Dogs lying on decks or sprawled on the cool concrete aprons of garages take their world as normal, but the house outside is still. If the slap of a suitcase closing or a door slamming is the echo of alone, what is the sound count of goodbye? Is it human in its making? Or can it be the season word buried in endless haiku about change, the death of the invisible but tangible? Only a fool believes the sound of one hand clapping can be doubled for long. Only the untried have faith in phoenixes or any hope of rebirth. Where are we at on time? And I'm going to finish with this one. Night flights. Swarms of silent lightning bugs rule the otherwise dark backyard, staying close to the grass that's due for cutting. Above the high, broken clouds, jets drag their sounds on leashes of time behind faster, flashing beacons. Sensitive to the noise of storms and celebrations, the dogs are indifferent to winged passers-by. their attention and concern fixed on that point beyond the horizon where the cannon roar from early fireworks resonates long after the pseudo-lightning has come and gone. I think of my grandson, partially back from Afghanistan. Even as a corner of me recalls night lights seen and rumbling herds while a few miles offshore near Da Nang, and all I can do is sigh. Thank you all. I don't know if there's a switch on this thing or not, so there you go.
Hello?
Hello.
This is my poem that will be on the sidewalk somewhere.
Thank you. Thank you.
They shared an identity of interest. I was given a